This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
Hi everyone, Ben Wagner here. We are breaking into programming here with breaking news. The Waukesha police chief says more than 20 people have been injured after an SUV slammed into the annual holiday parade. First, our big story, a gas explosion in much of downtown Sun Prairie leveled. 6,000 U.S. troops now helping with that evacuation, and that is as Taliban fighters appear to occupy the presidential palace. The man says he recently bought the used couch and thinks the snake was hiding inside before he got it. Police turned it over to a local pet store.
That is my biggest nightmare.
When we complain about the cold here in Wisconsin, we don't have to deal with that.
And you can see how high this is. This is up to my shoulders.
119 people have died since Monday. Do you feel any responsibility for the mess and, frankly, the crisis that this state is facing now? And we are following breaking news here tonight. The 128th Air Refueling Wing is on lockdown at Mitchell International Airport. Now to the return to college in the age of coronavirus. Marquette students started arriving back on campus today. The usual move-in rush scaled way back. Big story here on this Sunday evening. A crowd targets a Wauwatosa police officer's house. We're breaking into program now to bring you some breaking news. A blimp has just crashed at the U.S. Open. And it was those supporters President Trump said that he wanted to thank, waving from the back seat of his motorcade as it drove outside the hospital this afternoon. To Weather Watch 12 now, and we want to welcome in a brand new face here on the weekend team.
You send naked selfies to an underage girl?
Chief Morales came up and read from this statement at today's news conference and said nothing else to reporters. I don't tan hardly at all, and you'll see it soon, because I'll get sunburned before long.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Just you watch.
Let's go to Big 12 Sports' Stephanie Sutton now with the highlights, or maybe even the lowlights there, Steph.
This situation just unfolding here within the last, I would say, 30 seconds. Officers just came up to the roof there and took the suspect down, who was on top of the roof. You can see the armored vehicle now driving away.
Look at the tractors. Wave, say hi.
This was not how Bridget Botts-Castern
How cool is that?
expected to celebrate her son Jack's second birthday.
It's been a crazy 2 weeks.
The party, a socially distanced parade outside of their Sussex home as Jack tested positive for COVID-19 just days earlier.
What was that like, seeing that positive test result?
It was surreal.
Late last month, Bridget noticed Jack was congested, coughing, and had a fever. A test at Waukesha Memorial confirmed he was one of 81 kids in Waukesha County, younger than 9, positive for coronavirus.
When he was in the emergency room with Tylenol in his system, his fever went from 101.8 to 103.2 with Tylenol in his system.
Jack continued coughing and congested for days after. Their family has been in quarantine these past 2 weeks and wanted to share their story to let others know that young kids can get sick with this virus too.
That this is very real and can be very devastating, especially as a parent watching this and knowing there's nothing you can do other than watch and hope that they make it to the other side.
Jack, please.
Jack is feeling better, well enough to celebrate this memorable second birthday.
We're on day 15. He's down to just a cough at this point, and he is embracing too.
Bridget thinks that her husband may have gotten coronavirus either at work or at the store. Her kids haven't been in a public place since March. Her husband also showed symptoms but was tested and tested negative. Doctors told their family that they believe it could have been a false negative test, but just to stay home anyway, since Jack had already tested positive. In Waukesha, I'm Ben Wagner, WISN 12 News. In a matter of minutes,
It's sad. It's really sad.
the stone walls, parts of the roof, and one of the steeples, 140 years of Milwaukee history, came burning down.
I was just like super scared at first. I thought like something like bad, like a person, but then I didn't realize it was a fire.
Roman Luevino and Isaiah Peace were on the first floor inside when the fire broke out.
We were in there, and then I think it started upstairs. And then, like, a bunch of people started screaming, and they all came downstairs, and they just rushed us out, and they told me there's a huge fire, and it started spreading all throughout the building. And
These guys have a job to do, but it's just heartbreaking to see, chunks of the building coming off.
It was a hard scene for Steve Kelly, who's called Trinity home for years.
That organ is irreplaceable. You know, the German carvings in that building, irreplaceable. So yeah, it's just heartbreaking.
He got married here and now helps in the music department. He said workers had been renovating the roof.
Gee, I sure hope that wasn't a contributing factor.
Firefighters are working to find a cause while parishioners grieve one of the darkest chapters in Trinity history.
Hopefully they can rebuild, you know, but put it in the Lord's hands and see what he can do.
It's January 26th at the Walgreens at 26th and National. Police say Bucks rookie Sterling Brown was parked across 2 handicap spots.
I just told you to back up. I just did. Everything's camera, okay? You touched me first. So that's right. I told you to back up. Because you're going to try and get in the car. I'll do what I want, all right? No, I own this right here. You don't own me, though. What's your name? It's on there. Sterling Brown. I'm asking you. I'm telling you, Sterling Brown. These are simple questions, man. No, I'm answering. These are simple questions, and you're being all bad asking me, all right?
About 7 minutes later, police take Brown to the pavement and use a taser.
Take your hands out of your pockets now. I got stuff in my hands. Brown! Taser! Taser! Taser!
And put Brown in handcuffs. Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales, who preached transparency, said the officers' actions were, quote, inappropriate, and some have been disciplined. When we tried to ask questions...
Can you tell us why you called this news conference if you're not going to... We haven't seen the video. It's very difficult for us to ask informed questions about what is in the video.
And if you're going to be
I thought this was transparency motivated.
I thought you said you were going to own your mistakes.
He refused to answer. The police report said Brown was very aggressive, but video never shows him moving toward officers.
This guy in Vincent would just saying, hey, have a nice day, you know. But then I thought, okay, he's being an ass. He's trying to hide something.
The next day in January, 12 Sports' Stephen Watson asked Brown what happened.
Are you able to confirm if, you know, the bruise and scab on the side of your face is from that incident?
I mean, like I said, you know, it's an issue I'm dealing with right now. I mean, you know, that's all I can really want to. That's all I really want to say right now.
And now he's like, well, I'm a Bucks player, blah blah blah. So what?
Ben joins us now live from police headquarters. Ben, do we know the extent of how the officers were disciplined?
Joyce, we don't. Chief Morales came up and read from this statement at today's news conference and said nothing else to reporters. A police captain also said that once all requirements are met, they will release the names of those officers, Joyce.
All right, we'll stay on that. Ben Wagner reporting live from downtown Milwaukee.
First tonight, living on the edge, neighbors along the Lake Michigan shoreline are worried as their backyards erode into the water. 12 News' Ben Wagner is live in the village of Summers. Ben, some people lost land recently.
Yeah, Patrick, this backyard used to be much larger. You can see, though, what the Lake Michigan erosion really has done. This is the edge now, this patio, and it's a steep drop down to the lake. This staircase now leads to nowhere, which is just feet away from where this family lives. The once calming Lake Michigan waves now fill an ocean of worry for Karen Reynolds.
I got out of the city and it's peaceful. You listen to the waves at night. You can come out here and just meditate. And now you come out here and you panic.
She rents this house and the property along the shoreline, which chunk by chunk is now disappearing.
I have my friends joking I need to sleep with a life jacket.
And Reynolds is worried that more land could collapse any day. All of this fell into Lake Michigan just last month.
Every day something's going. We anticipate this tree to go in the next couple of days. It's absolute insanity. And I'm trying to get somebody to say this place isn't safe to stay so I can move with some assistance.
The Village of Summers says it's not that easy. Their inspectors can't judge if a house is unsafe unless it's clear, like this one hanging over the edge. And the cost to reinforce the shoreline, $100,000 to $200,000 per house, money local government doesn't have. So this once peaceful sound is now a potential alarm for those nearby.
Lots of anxiety, especially knowing that my son and my daughter-in-law and grandson are right here. And this is an addition, so this would probably go in the lake first.
It is a tough situation. Ben, you mentioned the house that's hanging over the edge. What's next for that home?
Well, Patrick, the Village of Summers says that it is scheduled to be torn down on Friday. Right now, cables, they say, are the only thing keeping it from falling into the lake.
Ben Wagner reporting live in Kenosha County tonight.